Guess what, everyone? There's a brand new Sigma lens. Another one, I know. And this brand new lens is the new Sigma 50mm F1.4 DG DN lens. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. What, another 50mm 1.4? Don't they already have one of these? And the answer is, yes, they do have another one, but that's a DG HSM lens. And essentially, if you don't know the difference between the DG HSM and the DG DN lenses, essentially the DG HSM lenses are not optimized for mirrorless cameras, whereas the DG DN lenses are optimized for mirrorless cameras. So essentially what they've been doing is updating their entire catalog of lenses, really, or at least the good ones, for mirrorless cameras. So compared to the DG HSM lens that already exists, this one is of course smaller and more compact. It has all the same features of the normal DG DN lenses, so it's got the AFL button on the side, the aperture click on and off switch, which means essentially this aperture barrel on the lens you can essentially change from being clicky or not clicky. If you're shooting video or photo, you can choose between what one you want, which is really nice. And it also has your typical AF and MF switch on the side as well. So everything that we've seen in the DG DN series, nothing's really to report here. In fact, you know, it's the same old stuff. One thing that is exciting about this new lens though is that they've added a new focus motor, which they're calling their HLA focus motor. I'll say that slower, HLA focus motor, and essentially that's meant to give you more smoother and accurate focusing when you are using your continuous autofocus. And of course that means that if you're going to pair up a lens like this with your Panasonic S5 II or the S5 IIX when it comes out, that you should have some pretty snappy AF performance, which is really nice. Price wise, just so you guys know, this lens comes in around £850 or $850, so it's sort of in the sweet point between that £2,000 50mm S Pro and the 50mm f1.8, which is I think £429. So this comes in right in the middle, and that's why generally I do think that this is the best 50mm that you can get for the L-mount ecosystem. I know it's a little bit rash of me to say that this is the best 50mm prime that you can buy for the L-mount system currently, but to be honest, I genuinely think it is, you know, like in terms of what you're getting in terms of the build quality and the price point, I don't think there's really anything else that competes with it, because of course we already have the 50mm f1.8 that's part of the S series lineup of primes, and that lens is absolutely fantastic, but it doesn't stop down to f1.4. It doesn't have a declickable aperture or all the sort of functionality that this lens does, and optically it's not as good as this lens from my testing. And then of course we have the 50mm S Pro 1.4 lens from Panasonic, but their lens is about £2,000 and it's a lot bigger and heavier than this lens. So more about the specs of this lens. Weight wise, it is 670 grams, which of course is more than double than the 50mm f1.8, but it is a bigger lens, you know, it's more superior in build quality and stuff, so that is to be expected. But then when you compare that to the S Pro, which I'm looking at now, the S Pro is 955 grams, so it's still quite a bit lighter than the Pro N 50mm that we have for the L1 ecosystem. So like I said, it's in the middle, it's a sweet spot lens. Image quality wise, it's exactly what you'd expect from Sigma nowadays. I don't think they've released a bad lens in the last sort of 3 or 4 years, so you're going to hear me say the exact same things that I always say about them. They're really sharp, great micro contrast, and generally speaking the bokeh is really smooth and pleasing, and all of that is the exact same with this lens. Nothing has changed. They are still smashing it out of the park with their optical quality, and yeah, if I'm being honest with you guys, I do prefer the way that this Sigma lens looks compared to the 50mm f1.8 from Panasonic, because I just think that Sigma do something so right with the way that they sort of tune their lenses up with micro contrast, and just, you know, sort of color rendition as well is really nice for both photo and video. So yeah, this one's actually been a really nice one to use, and for the price point of £850, I'd say it, you know, I mean, it's more on the expensive side for a 50mm prime, but it is 1.4 and you are getting all the functions and features that you would expect nowadays from an art series lens, so it's understandable. I think they priced it quite well when you know, look at the grand scheme of things and stuff. So yeah, bottom line, would I recommend this lens? Yeah, I definitely would. I think it offers a great value for money proposition. It's definitely the 50mm that I'd pick up for the L1 ecosystem. If you guys haven't already seen the other L-mount lens reviews that I've done on this channel, then definitely check some of them out. I get the chance to play with a lot of really nice lenses for the L1 ecosystem, and it's actually a great privilege to be able to do so. So if you are looking for some new lens options and stuff, then definitely head over to some other videos and check out, you know, my thoughts on those ones. And yeah, hopefully I shall see you over there.